Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kahal Kadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father Yahweh and my Heavenly Big Brother Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to your apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, great millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world. Teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashem Shah. Trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called Black Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up related to digital ID. I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into the scripts my best ability. Say whatever God say through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit of Krahak Dash, Lord, want to be on me. Let's get it.
For American education. Speaking of Karl Marx, one of the things I've been really focusing on, and I think is one of the most important rabbit holes people really need to go down, is what we're seeing with the digital IDs being rolled out across the board. And it's not just the UK, where we recently saw King Charles do a speech talking about the introduction of digital IDs, or where Keir Starmer has been pushing the mandates for digital IDs. It's happening across the board. We have Missouri pushing it for internet age verification. We have, of course, banks pushing it to prove citizenship and all this kind of stuff. A lot of people are using the mass migration issue, which is a very real issue, but then they're saying to stop this, we need biometrics, we need digital IDs, we need all this kind of stuff. And of course, with that, we also have data centers being constructed everywhere, including a 62 square mile one in Utah, which is absolutely crazy. Both the left and the right are creating pretexts to bring in digital IDs. So I wanted to ask you, how is the digital gulag being created currently, and how are both sides of the political spectrum bringing this agenda forward in their own ways? Because this is not just an issue of, the climate change leftists, and it's not just an issue of, the security state right-wingers. It's an issue of both sides that seem to be all culminating right now.
It absolutely is, Josh. And so the globalists have gotten smart. They figured out that you have to use the right for some things, you have to use the left for some things. And so they're building this digital gulag in pieces. And they actually say this. If you go to the UN Development Program, which is one of the organizations that the United Abominations leading the charge here, they actually have a whole program called the 50 in 5. And the idea behind the 50 in 5 is that 50 different governments are each going to focus on one particular component of the digital gulag. They call it the digital public infrastructure that we need for the new age. And all these different governments will focus on different parts. You focus on digital IDs, we'll focus on digital currency, we'll focus on tokenization, we'll focus on the international blockchain ledger. Everybody focuses on their own little piece. And then at the end of the 5 years, all of these governments will come together. They'll look at best practices, what worked well, what didn't, what should we improve on, and then merge them all together. So that is already well underway. And different governments are focusing on their own little pieces. And they're having to adapt a little bit along the way. The outrage about central bank digital currencies got so loud in the United States that we had multiple states ban CBDCs, including my home state of Florida. I'm very grateful for our governor and our legislators for.
But the funny thing about that, when they do away with cash, what the citizens gonna have to buy and sell with? Now they say the same states that's banning CBDCs, they ban CBDCs, but what about stablecoin too? That's another thing. Because stablecoin, they try to make it seem like it's not a CBDC. But it is. The same features, but it goes by a different name. So, at least they should get an evangelist for we're not ignorant of his devices. But another thing, too, let's just say these states in here in America, they banning CBDCs and stablecoins. What are the people going to use to buy and sell with and trade with? Because, currency, the physical currency is going to be done away with. It's going to be worthless, like in the scripture. Where is it at? They should cast their silver in the streets. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets. Silver meaning the physical currency of today, the current currency of the day, which would be your dollars. Yeah, them shit ass coins. That's your silver. I mean, back in the ancient times, they're using silver as that's real money. But that was used as buying or trading, buying things with. But today we're using the modern day silver or money or currency that being used today is paper. Junk money, junk coins, whatever you want to call it. And their gold shall be removed. Yeah, their savings, their investments, all that shit that's saved digitally is going to be removed. It's going to disappear just like that. And their gold and their silver shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. You won't be able to buy your way out of judgment. Yeah. When that happens, what are people going to use to buy and sell with? People going to probably end up, probably what it's going to do. What's going to happen with people? People going to leave that state and go to another state to get the chip and be a resident of that state. Well, meanwhile, people ain't gonna wanna. I mean, I don't know. I can tell you something got to go down, and you want to pray like heaven, the Lord be with you. I don't know why I moved this over here. I'm supposed to put my notes over on this side of the screen. Anyway, let me get back to the video.
For taking that very important step. We had President Trump, of course, do the executive order banning CBDCs. And so they said, well, we'll just improvise, right? We'll pass the Clarity Act, the Genius Act, and we'll just basically hijack the private cryptos and turn those into proto-CBDCs and do the know your customer.
And you see how that shit worked now? From what he's saying, that now the cryptos are now CBDCs. I don't know. Anyway.
And all that. So they're bringing it in from all angles. One of the parts that I think is very important.
And they said cryptos don't supposed to be CBDCs, but they just turned them just like that.
That hasn't received a lot of attention is the international architecture to make it all work. So I want to get to that, but you asked about the different components. Obviously, digital ID is well underway. More than half of the states in the United States are rolling it out. Anybody who's been to an airport lately, when you pass TSA, you've got the fast lane for the people with their little digital ID. So it's optional for now. And the UK, we all saw Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the communist, say, it's going to be mandatory, but it's going to be free. So that'll be fun. We all saw the King Charles, say that it's coming, that his ministers are going to push it. And it's interesting because, as you pointed out, Josh, they're packaging this as a tool to deal with the mass immigration that, of course, they create, right? They're the ones who opened the borders. They're the ones who encouraged all these people to come. They're the ones who blew up the countries that all these people are fleeing from. What could go wrong? But
they're creating all this chaos just to bring in a new order.
When they actually,
like I said, like what the scripture said, at least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. Creating all these problems that people react, and then he gonna come with a solution.
Proposed this in 2010 because I've been covering
the solution. Ultimately, gonna be that chip implant, the mark of the beast.
This, Josh, almost my whole career in journalism. In 2010, I did an article for the New American Magazine about the first ever American proposal for a biometric national digital ID system. They were going to turn our social security cards into national biometric digital IDs that would be required to work. And they didn't use illegal immigration as the pretext. You know what they did in that same bill, Josh? They actually provided amnesty for tens of millions of illegal immigrants. So that bill went down in flames. It didn't pass. But that tells you a lot, right? It was Chucky Schumer, senator from New York, Democrat, communist, whatever. Then you had, on the Republican side, Lady Lindsey Graham from South Carolina. So a bipartisan bill to legalize tens of millions of illegals and make sure everybody has a mandatory national biometric digital.
So they both sides don't matter, man. Whoever you choose, you still gonna lose. These people are on board when it comes to this shit. They can play and pretend like they're divided when it comes to the little mediocre shit, but when it comes to something major that's Bible prophecy, they're all on board for this chip implant. Believe me. No, believe the Lord, and He speaks that in the scriptures. Believe Yahweh Shema Shah. Yeah, He ain't lying about it. They're the ones that create hell, who y'all even call God and Jesus. They're the ones creating this story to play out. Only thing I can do, and many other men can do, is play their part by prophesying this what the Lord got playing out and warning you about what's going on. If you don't bother reading the scriptures, we gonna here to tell you about what's going on. Because really, them people in them churches, them Catholics and Christians, them niggas ain't telling you shit. They learn, a lot of them, if they know anything about this, they learn it from the prophecy Yahweh Shema Shah.
ID masquerading as a social slavery, social security card. So we know it's not about illegal immigration. The CBDCs are progressing very rapidly, right? The Bank for International Settlements, the World Economic Forum say almost every government in the world, almost every central bank in the world is rolling these out. If you look, for example, at the European Union, they're one of the furthest along. They're doing not just the CBDCs, they're doing the digital wallet, which includes your digital ID, it includes various documents like your certifications, your licenses, it includes, of course, your digital currency. So the EU is very, very far along. They've also introduced the European Union, they call the UVA-BECO, the European Union vaccine card that is part of this whole digital wallet. So the EU is really a pioneer in this. Communist China is really a pioneer in this as everything moves onto your smartphone and your biometric face print. And now I want to spend just a moment, Josh, on the international architecture, which is absolutely critical to making this whole thing work. So the Bank for International Settlements, call it the apex of the neo-feudalistic superstructure that they're trying to build here, has been working for several years now. And not theory, you can go to their website, you can read the white papers, you can listen to speeches. They've been working on the international component that's going to bring all of it together. They're calling it the International Blockchain Ledger. Of this, they need to tokenize every asset in the known universe, every car, every house, every farm, every stock, every bond, all of it will become a digital token living forever on this international blockchain ledger that the BIS is working on with private companies and central banks. And to be able to exchange any of these tokenized assets, you're going to need to use your digital ID and your digital currency. So people haven't put the dots together. They haven't looked yet at all the puzzle pieces together, but all these different little puzzle pieces are coming together. And when they think that it is irreversible, when they think that there's no longer any way to back out, they're going to say, voila, all of it's together. Now you're stuck. Now you're trapped. Now you have no freedom and no privacy.
Right.
Well, you do have a way out of this, and it's through Yahweh Shema Bashar. Because they're the ones who's, like I said, this is their movie. This ultimately Yahweh Shema Bashar's movie. They are the director, the producer, the writers of this story. So best thing you need to do is seek the Lord by seeking his prophets and repent and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Bashar. That's the only way out of here. And these people, these heathens, oh, there's no way out of here. No, don't listen to that. If you are Israelite now, only if you're Israelite, if you feeling this, you can look like these dudes. The Israelite can look like these dudes. You never know. The seed of Jacob is amongst all these heathens. Not all, no, I'm saying amongst the heathen nations. Not all the heathens. No. No. Shit, no. Hell. A dumbass will say, well, if that's the case, then all of us could be saved. No. Nope. Salvation's not for everybody, and not all the heathens are Israelites. You're going to have Israelites that look like the heathens. Shut the fuck up with that shit. Damn. Anyway.
And I feel like, Alex, we're witnessing this both on the governmental side and the private side. You mentioned, through, I guess, with these stable coins that they're pushing through. Augustus Bank just got a conditional approval by the OCC a couple days ago, which would be an AI-powered bank, and it's through a Peter Thiel protege that this was established. At the same time, we have Basel III 2 years ago, integrated in 63 central banks, which could involve bail-in regimes, which does very much relate to this situation. The United Nations Pact for the Future, a month before that in 2024, allowing for a lot of restrictions on bank accounts digitally over what people say online and what people do. And of course, you mentioned 50 and 50, a very important or 50 and 5 rather, a very important point. At the same time, with Visa and MasterCard, you didn't need mandates for these things. They just became something that you could not escape in big cities. And so these are private corporations that are pushing this on people, just like Keir Starmer said, with his digital IDs. Well, don't worry, it won't be mandated and enforced on everyone. It's just that if you don't have it, you won't be able to take part in everyday life. You won't be able to transact.
Yeah, and that's where that time comes when you're going to have to be a pilgrim upon the earth. I want to read that. Rough times. Where we at? The second Ezra chapter 16 and plus, not just the chip implants, but plagues being put upon the earth. The Lord is laying down some plagues on people. Famine, pestilence, war, the natural disasters, all that stuff. And then you got the chip implant. Esau trying to give you the chip. It's going to be a lot of shit going on, bro. A lot of shit. Let me go ahead and read it. Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack as a woman with child. Child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son in 2 or 3 hours of birth. Her birth great pains compass her wombs, which pains when the child cometh forth they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. So this is gonna be worldwide. And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So you can't run away from this stuff, but you can run to Yahweh Shema Bashar though for mercy and strength. Oh my people, talking about you Israelites, not all everybody. Like I say, you so-called majority, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Middle Indians, and you speckled birds. Like I said, speckled birds. The Israelites are scattered all over the world. They look like the heathens. It ain't all everybody. No, my people. But this is really for the elect of Israel. Hear my word. Make you ready to die battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So we're gonna be, some people gonna be moving here, moving there, roaming here. Some might be locked up or either already put to death as a martyr. But that's just speaking of the people who gonna be moving around as pilgrims, because The old Israelites going to be they're going to have to lose everything. Hell, we all going to have to lose everything. Hell, the martyrs, hell, they already ain't here. But hey, they in the spirit world, they in a new body already instantly. But some of us that's still here on earth, I won't say us because I don't know about myself. Fuck it, I'll just say us. But some of us that's gonna be on earth, shit, we're gonna have to be moving around. We're gonna be locked up. I mean, we ain't gonna be moving around, but guess what? You're gonna still lose everything. It's gonna be a season, a time for everything. And it's gonna be a time of losing everything, your possessions and such. But you pray like heaven, you don't lose the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. Nope. Get back to
This
video.
is exactly the system that the World Economic Forum is rolling out. And of course, with that, I wanted to mention, we have AI being pushed by both sides extremely fast right now. I mean, Trump, one of the first things he did in office was this $500 billion AI plan, and then his move with the Saudis over AI governance and militarism. We also have Bill Gates, and we have Sam Altman, and we have Elon Musk all pushing this so-called fix-all for this problem. They say, well, in a few years, AI will destroy all employment. But don't worry, you'll have UBI, Universal Basic Income. I feel like this all comes together under one roof, where we have banking controlled by this digital ID system. We have, of course, we have the issue with the Strait of Hormuz and all these other things. Food rations because of shortages that were created, manufactured, of course. And then we have, oh, well, you don't have a job and you can't afford anything. Here, sit at home. And it brings me back to a quote by Yuval Noah Harari some years ago, where he said, I dream of a world where people are placated on drugs playing video games. This sounds like UBI to me. It's a World Economic Forum goal. Elon Musk says, oh, I'm on the right and I'm against the multiculturalism issue, which is, it's realistic to be against all that stuff. But then, like a Trojan horse, UBI, accept the carbon tax system, accept carbon credits. I feel like there's a big construct coming, which is actually going to be based in the private sector to offset the legal issues of constitutional law, to get around the issues that the government can't enforce certain things on people. The Genius Act, okay, great, but then we have on the side X money, which is attached to XAI, which is attached to the Pentagon. I feel like the private sector might be the number.
But either way, all this talk is leading to the chip implant. But they'll say biometrics ID. But what is the biometrics? What's the real biometrics ID? The final stage of it be a chip implant. One goes in your right hand, or in your left hand, or in your feet, or your butt cheeks, whatever place you want to be. I mean, being weird like that, stupid like that, hell, it can go anywhere in your body. But the one that's different from the one that's the size of a grain of rice is that brain chip. That's what they really want inside your body, so they can control your mind completely. But they can control you even with the one that's the size of a grain of rice, because once you get that chip, it's embedded underneath your skin. Hell, they can control your funds. They can detonate the little chip. It ain't like a big ass explosion like they implanted fucking C4, 1 pound of C4 in your body. No. It's like it's got lithium in that little chip, little grain of rice chip. They can just make it go poop, and then it's all in your body, and it's leaking lithium in your bloodstreams and kill your ass slowly or fast. I don't know how fast it is to get killed by lithium poison, but they'll fuck your ass up that way and terminate your ass. Or was that interview, or that interview with Skull and Bones Alex Jones? With what's that dude name? Aaron Russo. Aaron Russo was like, well, you can just turn off the chip. Just turn it off. Yep, that's it. Turn it off and you will never exist. Ever. But it's coming down to the pipe. Let's get to this next video. If you want to watch the rest of this, be my guest, because you see they talking about something else. UFO disclosure. That's really the chariots of the Lord. UFOs, unidentified flying objects. No, they're what's the other one? Identified flying phenomenons or something like that. But they're really the chariots of the Lord. You can find them in the Bible. They'll be speaking of them being as like clouds, chariots of the Lord. They're pretty much the vehicles of our salvation. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry us home. Yeah, come to carry the elect of Israel home. But anyway, next video.
But if it does come to rationing, how are they going to give you a ration card? It's going to be digital. Digital ID will be required to procure your food. Now, Again, all of this could have been easily prevented, and it can be turned off at a moment's notice.
Huh?
But the thumb screws keep being applied to the world.
What the fuck you just say, boy? What you say there, boy?
Digital ID will be required to procure your food. Now, again, all of this could have been easily prevented, and it could.
No, it wouldn't be prevented because it's Bible prophecy. You can't stop the will of Yahweh Shema Shah. Yeah, but people don't believe. Bald face, bald head. Well, nothing wrong with bald head because that'd be natural. But if you taking a razor to your head, you got a problem. But razor to your face, you got a problem. But anyway,
Be turned off
nigga, you can't prevent this. It's Bible prophecy. You can't stop it.
at a moment's notice. But the thumb screws keep being applied to the world's food supply. And you have to ask why so intensely and why right now and why. There's zero possibility of negotiation to get this thing unlocked. And even if they do unlock it, we're going to lose this entire season of productivity. It won't come back again until next year. You know, it's going to take 9-10 months to unsnarl the ridiculousness of plastic shortages, smelted metal shortages, all the inputs for our agriculture, all the diesel fuels. Everything is just going to take nearly a year to get it back to what it was just a few months ago, flowing.
No, it's gonna take longer than that. And I hoping this bitch don't have another year. Shit, nah. I hope this bitch don't have another year. Cause I mean, the Lord is breaking this whole system down. The Lord is not gonna bring this shit back. It's already jacked up. The Lord has jacked it up, and there ain't no coming back for Babylon and the rest of this world. The Lord is tired of this crap, and look what He's doing to it, breaking it down.
Normally, if this silliness stops today, but it doesn't.
It ain't silly. It's prophecy and it's judgment. It's plagues from Yahweh Shema Bashah. Yep. I haven't played none of these videos. I played like a little bit of this one, but to see what's going on. Well, this dude from it was a GMS, South Carolina 08. Let's get it. And then after that, I'm gonna wrap it up.
No way.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save that he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603.
Damn, them niggas got some grieving sores on their hand. That's like a zombie hand right there. Shit. And the chip ain't gonna be on the outside. It's gonna be underneath the skin. But you know, it's AI and somebody set it up that way.
Be score and
And bruh, he just using this video as an example, for illustration of what the future would somewhat be like when you get the chip implant. And you do not want to get no chip implants.
6.
Effective immediately, citizens who have not received the digital implant must be reported to the National Compliance Hotline. Remember, reporting is an act of unity and protection.
It's my brother.
Failure to report will result in penalty. Stay with us for continued updates on the directive.
Yeah, families will tell on you. Call the authorities. Say, hey, this nigga ain't no good goyim like we are. We need to report him. The crabs in the bucket, motherfuckers. They be your family members, friends, your wife or your husband. They're telling you. Your kids will tell on you. Whatever. Your dog might tell on you. Shit, nah, dogs ain't shit. But all I can tell you, these niggas gonna be telling on you. They gonna be turncoating on your ass. That's why we need the Lord, man. Fuck these people.
It's my son. He hasn't gone yet. I'm reporting.
Yeah, I'm reporting he's a Hebrew Israelite and he refused to take the mark of the beast. And is there cash for telling on him, or it is how much? $10? Okay, that's cool. That's fine with me. Can't get much for $10, but at least it's better than nothing. They gonna tell on your ass for $10. Nah, they gonna tell on your ass for $1,000. Heck yeah.
Bring him now.
All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another.
Move in. Clear left.
Here comes Esau coming with that great wrath. Let me get something. No. Get this instead. I keep typing the wrong letters. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those who fear the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shah, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So they coming for people who rejecting the chip implant, mainly you Israelites, the elect of Israel.
Report. Receive reward. Secure peace. Please
Lord.
move in. Report. Receive reward. Secure peace. Please.
They'll take us if you don't comply.
I obey God, not man.
You're like, yeah, get the fuck on, kid, little bitch. Like, you little shit. You told on me, you little shit.
Non-compliant citizen detained.
Yeah, that's like an IUIC member right there. And he cried like boo-hoo, no wet face ass nigga.
Another non-compliant citizen detained.
Father, forgive me.
Oh, that nigga took that chip implant.
Brave citizen
Yeah, it's sin. It's sin.
upheld the Premier's decree ensuring
Mark of the beast is sin. Nah, look at him. He crying to the Lord. He feel like shit.
unity through obedience.
Eve right here looking all the gloomy face.
Forgive me.
No, it ain't no forgetting. The Lord gonna kill your ass on this side, bitch.
Move! Hands where we can see them! I did nothing wrong!
Compliance is unity.
How could you do this to me?
I had no choice.
You fucking bitch.
They said they take us all.
Report. Receive reward.
Well, goddamn, put your faith in the Lord, bitch.
Keep it moving.
For your safety, comply immediately. Compliance is peace. Processing sequence initiated. Non-compliant, detained.
Compliance ensures continuance.
Over 35,000 citizens have been safely integrated since yesterday's directive.
Your digital ID to check your daily sugar limit.
I don't have a digital ID.
I'll have to call the police.
Smith, you stand charged of exceeding your daily sugar limit and failing to present your digital ID when requested. This court finds you guilty. 50 years imprisonment.
No, wait. It was just a glass of Coke. I'm sorry. Please, it was just one glass.
Sorry, we don't accept paper tickets. Brick card only, I'm afraid.
It's all I've got. I paid for it.
Rules are rules, love.
Please, it's just to the clinic.
You'll need to step off the bus.
Come on, this
Easy
way.
does
No,
it.
please, I need to get
Mind
there,
step.
please.
It just said decline.
Yeah, it says you've gone over your weekly meat allowance.
My allowance? I only fancied a steak for dinner. I've not bought that much this week.
I'm afraid the system's strict. It won't let me put it through.
You're joking.
Right, stop, police! You turn left, into the alley. You won't get far without a brick card, mate.
A brick card? No, bruh. A chip implant. Fuck a card, fuck a cell phone. They want to implant inside your body. The right hand or your left hand or your feet or your butt cheeks or your titty, big titty, small titty, or in the man boobs if you got man titties. Shit. But in your brain too, in your forehead, in your brain. That's what they really want the chip implant inside of. Not no stinking card. Your brick card. What the fuck is wrong with these people, bro? Why they keep thinking that the digital ID is gonna be the final stage, gonna be a card, a plastic card with a chip? Shit. Some people thinking that's the mark of the beast. No, nigga. The mark of the beast is the chip implant.
Restriction breach detected. Annual flight quota.
And the digital ID is not the implant, but it's the final stage for the digital ID. But ultimately, the chip implant is the mark of the beast.
No, wait. Stay where you are. Hands behind your back. Let go of me, please. I haven't done anything. Stop resisting. You're hurting me.
All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopefully elect. This video will be entitled The Mark, a prophecy that will break up families. A prophecy that will break up families. And this mark is none other than the mark of the beast from Revelation 13 and 16 through 17, I believe, maybe even through 18. And you saw a video in the intro, and I came across that video early today while I was on TikTok. Okay. And the video pretty much had, man, it was a heavy video. I actually, this lesson is, it's not really a redo. It's an add-on, an addition, because I did a video earlier today. Let's show it now. That basically YouTube took it down and TikTok took it down. But I was able to put it up over here on Odyssey. And I shared the link in another video I did.
And you know what? I want to check that out. They might take it down from... I think I got Odyssey on here. I got his channel. I can't remember which one was it. I have to look it up.
And it's still not getting that many views, so I'm just gonna take the the portions out of the video. I've already taken the portions out of the video that was copyrighted. That's the reason it was getting blocked.
Well, never mind. I might not play that video.
The reason they say it was getting blocked. This video is called Jacob's Trouble in an Austere Dystopia, featuring the Mark, which that's a really good video. In my opinion, man, some of my best work, if I do say so myself, But it's a really good video, but a lot of people ain't gonna go over there to Odyssey to watch it. So what I did was I just tried to salvage the best parts of the video. I took out the portions that was copywritten, because there was a video in this earlier video that was from a movie, and it had some stuff in it that Esau don't want to be showed. This video, on the other hand, is just an AI video that some brother put together, and I came across it on TikTok. But it's really good. It had a lot of good stuff in it. Everything going, going in unison with what's written in the scriptures. It goes right along with what we see. And the main thing this video focused on was the mark, and you kept hearing the word compliance. Now, if you notice here, in all of these still images that came out of that video, it says at the top, your own family will rat you out. Be prepared. So I just figured I would take this video and then I'd just make another lesson out of it. Because if you watch the first lesson I did, I was saying in that video that it was scriptures that I wanted to read that I left out, that I wasn't able to get. And plus I was short on time. But now I'm able to kind of, go into it a little more. But I'm just going to, like I said, it's just an add-on. Now, one thing I noticed from this video when I watched it, and every time I watch it, I see something different, right? So here you got the news reporters coming on telling people that they're going to phase 2, enforcement of the mark, the mandatory digital implant, and they said no more was optional. Everybody had to get it. Now, if you notice, you see all the imagery in it, right? Now, right away, it started showing family members were compelled to report or turn in anybody in their families that were non-compliant, right? You see different people here, different scenes from family members calling on their relatives, telling them, yeah, he don't have the mark, she don't have the mark, right? You saw family members turning each other in, wives turning their husbands, kids turning their parents, and this is the thing I saw that I didn't really see before. So they got a whole call center, right? And what do they got? They got people on the phones, right? They're manning the operator boards, and look at all the pictures of the people. They showing people that are non-compliant, people that had not yet taken the mark. And we told these dumb niggas, these different Israelites, that this thing is gonna be something big. It's not gonna be a small time thing. See, and they got law enforcement involved, all of it. And you see the people in their houses like not knowing what's going on, and they just got it got New World Order, New World Police or some shit on their thing. You see this woman here, she had no idea what's going on. But you ain't know your relative done called and said you was non-compliant, so they busted in the door. or either she was the one that called. You see a scene here with a young boy with either his dad or his granddad. He tells his granddad that if we don't comply, they're gonna take all of us away. And then the dude says, "I obey God, not man," right? So then the little boy, he reports him. He had already turned him in. See, the man.
That nigga don't want to get his damn PlayStation 5. He don't want to be taken away from his PlayStation 5. Shit. So he said, "Sorry, Grandpa, you got to go."
Stood up. You heard him kicking in the door. And then you see this.
And then this nigga right here, he shouldn't have been dressed in like purple and gold. Or IUIC or ICP2K or whatever the fuck you call them niggas. Shit, crying.
Boy, he's sitting on the bed crying. And he's saying, "Forgive me, Father," because he done turned his pop in. Because you hear in the background his dad saying, "In my own house? In my own house?" Then they had a saying called "Compliance is love." You see it right there. Compliance is love. So what is compliance? We'll look at that. I actually went into that in the last video too.
Loyal citizens of the week.
And then you see the news reporter, she on here crying, talking about "forgive me." See, it's a lot of things that can come from that you're gonna see happening in these last days, man. And the main thing, and you see a wife turn her husband in. And the excuse she used, he said, "I can't believe you did this." She said, "Well, if they gonna take all of us." See, self-preservation is the highest call, or something like that, whatever that saying is. And they got a whole integration. See, when they say integration, that means people that are, and as they go through the scanner, you see non-compliant right there. Then they got them lined up and sectioned off. Then you see this guy, the New World Premiere, or whatever. See, this is why the Christians think about something like an Antichrist. No, man. You already got this Antichrist in power, which is Esau, the so-called white man.
And all these other heathen nations, people that's against Yahweh Shema Shah. Hold on. Including, yeah.
Then you went to another video that one of the brothers had put together.
This Antichrist system been going on for decades. Shit, and now they at the final stage. They coming closer to the chip implants. Ran by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's raised a baby this sucking Jewish faggot nigger Amalek.
Together. But you got this guy that was he didn't have his ID, his digital ID. He was trying to get a Coke at McDonald's, and they sent his ass to court. They locked him up, and then the judge gave him 50 years for not having an ID. And as he's going out, he said, "I'm sorry, it's just a glass of Coke." And then you see a woman trying to get on the bus to go to the clinic, and she ain't got the mark. See? And they ain't gonna let her go. So like we told you people, this thing right here is gonna be big. Alright, and when it finally gets to that stage, hey, without it, you will not be able to be a part of society. It's more than just buying. I mean, buying and selling is the big part of it. But that just, it leads you into what? Whether you're gonna be able to be a part of society or not. It's more than just not being able to go to the store. It's also not being able to go to the dentist, or not being able to go to the doctor, or not
at the hospital. They gonna turn your ass away. What that remind me of that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Val Kilmer. It was old. It was like 2008 or 9. Called Hate. Was it Haywire? Let me see. No. Let me just voice that shit. Cuba Gooding Jr. and Val Kilmer movie. Hardwire. Yeah, but Cuba Gooding Jr. His character, what did he do? Yeah, it was him and his wife. They got in a car accident. She dies, and he lives. But the hospital said, if you want to live, you got to take this brain implant. So he took the brain implant. And now this nigga, he just going fucking crazy. They doing random advertisements in his head, seeing things. People that don't have the chip implant inside their brain, they don't see it, but he see it. And what it is, nothing but advertisement forcing him to buy things. If he don't buy it at a certain period of time, his head would explode by the chip. Yeah.
I've been able to get on a train, a bus, a plane. You definitely can't fly. You see? So your life is pretty much going to be over unless you take that mark. They're going to force you into a choke point. Let me see if I can look that word up. A choke point. Define choke point. Right here.
Choke point.
Choke point. A geographical, strategic, or systemic bottleneck that forces the movement of traffic, troops, or resources into a narrow passage. Because passing through these narrow zones is unavoidable, they are highly vulnerable to congestion, blockades, or control by a single entity. And really, it's a figurative choke point. It's not literal. What is meant by choke points? A choke point is a limited interface point between zones that is currently monitored and controlled to restrict movement and access, making it easier to manage and secure data flow in a computer system. So put that in the context of people. This is going to be a spiritual choke point to the point where they're going to force you to either comply, or if you're non-compliant, they're either going to offer you death, exile, or incarceration, or all three. They may incarcerate you, right? First exile you, then come lock you up and hold you for a period of time, and then offer you death. That's also in the scriptures as well. What did I want? Salaki, I didn't want that. I wanted define non-compliant or compliance. Define. Let's look up non-compliance. Non-compliance. Salakia.
Non-compliance.
Non-compliance is the failure or refusal to follow rules, laws, regulations, or established standards. It occurs when an individual or entity acts in a way that deviates from the mandated requirements. What we've been telling you. When something is mandated, it means it's mandatory, leaving them open to legal penalties, operational failures, or other adverse consequences. Non-compliance. You refuse to do what they tell you to do. Non-compliance, yeah, we read it there. What is another word for non-compliance? It doesn't give it. What is non-compliance behavior? Any action or inaction that fails to follow established rules, instructions, expectations, or regulations. Same shit. So that non-compliance refusal to take the mark is going to result in what? Being an outcast of society. It says, Revelation 13:16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And you've seen it all over the video. I ain't going to say, we didn't say it till we blew in the face. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Meaning what? You could not buy or sell, or be a part of society, or do anything else without that mark. Now, as I got in the thumbnail, the mark of prophecy that will break up families. It's throughout the scriptures about how families, and it was in that video. Matthew 24 is one they used, right? They started at 8. Matthew 24:8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Now, back during the time when the Lord was on the scene, they went through some of that. Yahushua, the disciples, Apostle Paul and his men, and other great men of the Lord, they were afflicted. Now, we going to have our time that's going to come. You know, persecution and affliction, right? It says in verse 10, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. So what did you see in here? You saw people betraying one another, right? They was giving their family members up, giving their relatives up. See? So you just, hey, at the end of the day, like we told you, this thing is about individuals being the truth. Look, report non-compliant. They was turning their relatives in left and right. Let's go there and read this in some of the scriptures now. Because, you know, this don't need to be a great long video. Just wanted to show that mainly to get it out there. Now, this is Matthew 10. We just jump right into 21. It says, and the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. See? So it's all about individuals. What's that saying? Self-preservation. Let's see if we can look that up. Because see, everybody's going to worry about their own ass. They're not going to worry about you. That's why we tell you got to cut them strings, them ties. You got to, the Lord is calling you. He ain't call everybody. Self-preservation. Well, they say self-preservation is the first law of nature. It is a fundamental proverb and biological reality. The concept, popularized by thinkers like Thomas Hobbes, dictates that innate instinct to protect one's own existence and well-being is the baseline drive of all living creatures. That's absolutely it. And even with us. But guess what? It's got to be overpowered by the Holy Spirit. Without that, people are going to turn your ass in. They're going to turn you in. You see? And let's actually read up. This is Matthew 10. and 18, verse 17, 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, when the Lord had these scriptures written, that all of it meant the mark. No, it meant in different scenarios. But the mark can definitely be one. It says, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. The Lord said he sent you forth as sheep among wolves, but you got to be smart. You got to be thinking with your mind, and you got to have the Holy Spirit. You got to be thinking on your feet. Don't trust these people. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. Like we told you, that happened during the times of our Lord, Yahushua, Apostle Paul, and certain men of the Lord, the disciples and other men. They were delivered up to councils, right? But we're also going to have our time that may very well happen to some of us. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what you shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you, right? If you know, you go before these rulers or whatever council they have you go before, the Lord is going to tell us what to say in that time. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. See? So we know it's coming. It's in the prophecy that it's going to happen, and it is going to happen. And now we got a little video, an AI video that some brother put together, and I came across it first thing this morning. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I got to use this. So this is Matthew 13 and 10. And the gospel must first be published among all nations. What's going on right now? We are publishing the word. We bring it out all over the earth. So we know that the end can come, the beginning of the end can come at any time. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what you shall speak. Neither do ye premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye. For it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Spirit. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. It's all in the scriptures. It's throughout. It's everywhere, right? And even that how shit could wind up happening over here. You know, when Jacob's trouble is fully opened up, when it's fully started, it's also mentioned in the scriptures. So I mean, I just really thought this was a neat video, the way the brother had it put together. Right? And some of this stuff we need to see, because you need to be thinking about it. You know, like Apostle Gabar says sometimes, like when you read the scriptures, you got to start seeing yourself in these scenarios. He might didn't say it exactly like that, but overall, that's what all the apostles tell us. You got to start thinking and seeing yourself in these real life scenarios. The scriptures ain't gonna give you every possibility. It's gonna be straightforward, but it's up to us to see what the scriptures don't say. Right? So we know that due to what we read there and what we see on the screen, it could be like this or it could be worse. Some people gonna be asleep. You know, you gonna come home and your family gonna be gone. You might be in the middle of getting down with your old lady and they might come and grab you up. See? But we know that our relatives don't have, the majority of them don't have the spirit on them. So they're gonna be susceptible to those evil spirits and they're gonna give you up. You know, and most of the people think that we into something crazy. So they're gonna be thinking
crazy cult. You know what I'm saying? But shit, nigga.
That they doing the Lord a favor by turning us in. They're already on the internet talking all kinds of shit.
Yeah, they Lord is Esau. That's their God, man. They following, you piece of shit. And you know what? I can see that how people will be. They're doing a good deed by they and your fat relatives. They looking out for your safety. That's what we're just doing it for the best. We don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to get the fuck out of here.
Saying we a cult, we crisy, we misogynist.
I need help. I figured you needed help.
Just all this different shit that they saying. Even if some of it is true, we should be able to believe what we want to believe. So this is 2 Ezra 15. And I'm going to jump in here at verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's really going more into, when anarchy break loose. Let's jump down here, though. We saw this, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Now, you saw that in the end, when this dude was trying to leave, he trying to go somewhere. Right? And then also, don't forget, you saw this guy trying to buy a steak. And they told him he was above his weekly meat ration or whatever. And he couldn't get the steak. See, this is another thing I want to mention. When you, under the digital ID, it's going to give them, it's not just for identification, it's also for for them tracking every purchase that you make, which is all a part of the mark. This is all part of the beast system. So when you go to make a purchase, they're gonna know everything that you bought, how much of it, and they're gonna either allow it or disallow it. And you can't just travel freely. This guy was trying to go somewhere and he didn't do nothing wrong. They came and grabbed him up because why? He didn't have his digital ID. See, that's what when men shall desire to go into a city and should not be able. You're gonna try to get steak and you can't get steak. You're gonna try to get certain things, they're gonna say you're above your daily allowance of sugar. See, they're gonna be able to completely fucking control you. And you got stupid Israelites talking about the mark of the beast is sin. What dummies? But that's okay. That is okay. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Can you imagine in that time when you got non-compliant people that didn't take the mark, you didn't take the mark, they ain't really no way they can give food, but you got food at your house. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? They're going to come and they're going to take whatever you got, or if you find out certain people got food, what's going to...
Yeah, going back to... Yeah, going back with them... What was it? Well, nah. Well, I'll read it anyway. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those those that fear the Lord, Yahweh Shema, for there shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses.
What happened? People gonna get together in groups and they gonna go and try to steal that food.
And that another one too. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 18. For because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but destroying their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulations. Yeah.
You see? It says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall
oh, okay. I didn't even know you gonna read that.
Destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, take their shit, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right, because they're hungry. They're hungry to death. You see? They're starving to death. Let's get Revelation 2 and 10. Because it's going to come to that point. First, the shit going to start off, like they doing something for your benefit, and it's going to be optional. But then that optional is going to change to mandatory. And then it's going to turn to some austere shit to where you didn't receive the mark, you didn't want to take it, and now you're going to be like a fugitive. So they may just come try to grab you up and toss your ass in the prison. And then from there, if you don't take it, you know what it's going to be? The chopping block. Revelation 2 and 10, fear none of those.
Or the shooting, the firing squad. Or the hanging. Any of those, they may end up torturing you. Hey, I don't know, but I can say, pray the Lord for mercy and strength to endure.
Those days which thou shalt suffer, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried. And you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful to death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Right, and it means exactly what it says. And that devil that's going to throw you into prison is Esau, the so-called white man.
Yeah, he's the only one who has prisons. The spiritual demon Satan, he don't have no prisons. Shit, Esau, the so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's raising a baby dick sucking Jewish fag nigger. Amalek, they own prisons, and they have concentration camps, detention centers, even quarantine camps, and they all fucking prisons with bars and gates and shit. And they about to use them suckers. Throw people. They already using them on a lot of you tribes, especially in Northern Kingdom. The immigration detention centers and all that shit. Get the fuck out of here. They prisons.
Right? His power structure, him. See, the elites are the ones on top. That's Lucifer. The elites, they're the top of the capstone. Right? The all-seeing eye people. That's them. The illuminated ones. The keepers of the light. All their little henchmen that work for them, the little demons. Those are the devils. You see? They're the devil's angels, should we say. They part of that whole system. The military, the police officers.
Look at the devil's angels right there busting in the house with the guns and the lights on the guns and the suits and uniforms. Like, get your hands up.
The people that that
there they go. They lined up in the streets. Them devil's angels. And hell, people that telling on your ass is a devil. There's these devil's angels. You doing the bidding of Satan. You helping out Esau. The people that telling on people. Yeah, your family members gonna be telling on your loved ones and all that shit. They're gonna be doing the work of Satan. It's just like remind me of the Matrix. Anybody can turn into an agent. Somebody, a grandma sitting on the bench seat knitting. All of a sudden, she turns into Agent Smith. Because she told on your ass. She's an agent. That's what all that with the Matrix, the movie was about. The motherfuckers morphing and shit, they turn into agents.
Sit behind the desk that make the rules and all of that. Even their little teachers and your relatives. Because once your relatives take the mark, they part of the system. They worship in the image of the beast, the system, and they took his mark. And they doomed. So you know what? Ain't nothing we can really do about it. This is Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So don't try to get slick. If you own the earth, you're going to have to go through it. Ain't nobody get whisked away in no rapture, so you don't got to suffer. No, the Lord going to put hell on everybody, even us. And you're going to be tested. And you're going, Lord, would you, hey, Lord willing, you make it. Let's get one more here, Matthew 10. And keeping with the title, because it's going to break up families. Matthew 10, verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter-in-law against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. And you saw that illustrated beautifully in this clip, right? And a lot of people was black in the clip, so-called black. This dude sitting here on the bed crying, telling me, forgive me, Father. Either he took the mark, but I kept hearing in the background, in my own house. See, they came and kicked in the door because they got a call center where you can report motherfuckers. If they ain't got the mark, if they non-compliant, they busting in, they coming to get you. They coming to get you. They're going to take you to such and such and so-and-so. And see, that lady gave her husband up, but she had the mark already. She was compliant, but they took his ass away. So, wonderful stuff. Now, Matthew 10:37 says, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. So you got to be willing and obedient to the Lord to do what he told you to do by not taking the mark. And the hour of temptation to be read about Revelation 3 and 10 is when the mark is implemented. It's mandatory. And you're going to be tempted whether to take it or not. That is the hour of temptation, Revelation 3 and 10. So, as you've seen from the video and from the illustrations, everything that we read, the mark is a prophecy that will break up families. It's going to break up families. The Lord said he's not going to allow everybody to be all comfortable and you're just going to skate into the kingdom. Hell no. All the wickedness going on the earth, the Lord is mad about it. He's going to purge, but he's also going to put many to the test. All of us. He's going to put all of us to the test. And Lord willing, we're going to come out on the other side as gold tried in the fire. So stay tuned for more later on. All praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Shalom.
Yep. Seek the prophets by seeking the Lord and take heed to what they say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship. Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order. Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and bless to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.